Hey there, folks, and welcome back to Space Engineers Survival Exploration Mode, and we are off on our adventure. Right now we're heading towards that little pixel off in the distance. We're not sure what it is. It's kind of flickering, which means it's something. We don't know if it's maybe an asteroid that's really far off in the distance, or maybe it's a small ship. And that's kind of what we're looking for right now. We're looking for ships, other signs of civilization, and other things like that. Also, we're looking for uranium. That's one of the major things that we need right now. Right now we're running off of battery power, so that should be fine. And just like normal, we're taking suggestions from you guys to improve our ship and just to, improve our playthrough a little bit. So one of the things that somebody suggested is that we put button panels on our spaceships to start the reactors, to toggle on and off the reactors, and that would actually make things a little bit easier. So we're probably going to do that this episode, as well as maybe streamline the process of getting into our remote control command center. Ooh, is that something off in the distance? Nope. There's just all these little pixels all everywhere. Just trying to see if we can find a ship somewhere. There's an asteroid getting pretty close. I don't see any ores on it, so we're going to just pass on by. Something that we're going to do is, well, I'll show you when we're at a nice stop. Okay, are we still heading towards that? It's getting slightly bigger. I think it's an asteroid, that's for certain. So, well, we're going to keep on going. Actually, we're probably going to stop at this big asteroid here and see if maybe we can find some uranium or magnesium, because we need to make some 7.62 bullets for our interior turrets and a gun, which I think we have a gun on us, but we don't have any ammunition for it. So okay, yep, that is definitely an asteroid, but it's getting bigger, so we will stop at it later. And I don't seem to see any ships. From what I understand, they are very rare in the game, so it's not like we're going to run across them all the time. In fact, it's probably going to be very rare when we run across a ship or a station. It's just that we got unusually lucky, or, I mean, that was a very strange station, though. Anyhow, well, let's stop at this asteroid here. Seems like a very, very big one, so there probably are some good resources in it. And we'll stop there. We'll do some work to our spaceship. I imagine by the end of this series, just like in the survival series, this spaceship will look nothing like it did when it started. It's just going to be continually added and improved upon. Yep, that's definitely an asteroid off in that distance. Alright, well, we're going to turn on our inertial dampeners fairly soon. In fact, we're going to be passing it shortly, so let's turn on our inertial dampeners. Slow down a little bit. There's something floating off on that asteroid over there. Maybe that's just a graphical glitch. Ow. Something ran into us. Took some damage on the side there. That's strange. Wonder if there was maybe a rock or debris floating off. Maybe that's what hit it. It's a good thing we have all this heavy armor on. Otherwise we'd be in some trouble. Well, it looks like there definitely is some sort of something in there. There's iron for certain, so let's park our ship outside of it. We'll expand upon our ship. We're going to do some upgrades to it, and then we're going to probably try to find some ores. And yeah, we'll park this facing the sun so we get some solar power. Alright, how close are we? We are still very far away. This is mostly a stone asteroid with some iron in the center. Alright. That should be good. I don't know how close we are. That might just be a small asteroid. Well, you can see our shadow on it, so it must be pretty close. So let's hop on out of here. So what I was thinking was we can destroy this block and put a passageway down to the hangar bay, because somebody said that it takes a long time for us to go from this little hangar bay through the doors, close the doors, up the staircase, over to the passage, up the passage, and over to our little remote control console. So what I was thinking was we could expedite the process by putting a little passageway here that goes directly into the hangar bay. So all we have to do when we turn on our ships via button, which we will be doing, is... we really did take some damage somehow. I'm gonna have to fix that. Anyhow, all we'll have to do is we'll have to jump in the passageway, up, over, and to our little control center. I don't want to put a control center inside of the hangar bay itself because there's just not room for it, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to fix... we did take some damage, strangely. Not sure from what. Doesn't look like any of the blocks were damaged to where they actually need steel plates, but it's just strange. Maybe we must have hit something. Alright, make sure nothing inside our engine room took any damage. Oh, one of our reactors is on. Thought I turned both of them off. So, where is our large reactor? Toggle block off. There we go. I don't want to be wasting our uranium. So we have 2 hours of battery life in here. Here I was thinking we were actually running on battery power. Apparently not. Oh well. So, what we'll do is we'll move the turret, because we're going to be putting a passageway here. I wonder if we could actually put the passageway one over. Well, let's try that. There we go. We'll just grab these blocks. And... oh, yeah, that's gonna... well, actually, because there's gonna be a passageway there, it'll act as a wall. Okay, yeah, that'll be fine. We'll put the passageway here. There we go. Let's rotate it properly. There we go. Place that one there. We'll rotate it. We'll keep it like that. Now let's go up to the top to place the last couple blocks. And we will rotate it this way. And that'll be it. Right, so that should make getting into the cockpit of the ship a lot easier. We need some interior plates, metal grids, and steel tubes. And lots of them by the looks of it. So interior plates, metal grids, and steel tubes. Well, we don't have many of either. We'll take what we have, though. So that means we'll have to assemble some in our assemblers. Get some use out of those for the first time this series. Oh yes, we also need construction components. So, interior plates and construction components. Also, let's fly up here. Okay, so we just need interior plates on that one. Interior plates and construction components. Alright, well, let's get the construction components, and we'll get the interior plates in just a moment. Let's go make those interior plates now. I think we have everything we need in this assembler here. So production, we'll probably make a couple of those. How much iron do we have? Should have enough to make those. I don't know why it's red. Oh, I bet it's red because we don't have a lot of power right now because it's running on batteries. Alright, well, that's fine. Inventory. There we go. We'll take those. Also, we have some more interior plate inside of our large cargo container. So let's... we actually have a lot more. Well, that should be more than enough then. Alright, we'll be able to finish the passageway then. Perfect. One more block, and that should do it. There we go. That'll make things a little bit more speedy. And now, what do we need for the button panels for these small ships? That's just a computer, interior plate, and steel plate. So let's grab, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to need 4 computers and some steel plates. 4 computers and 8 steel plates, actually. So, oops, 8 of these guys. And we need 4 computers. Perfect. Now let's go build some button panels on our ships. Gotta find some room for it. This ought to be fine if we rotate it properly. There we go. And we will keybind that to turning the reactors on and off on that ship. There we go. Just need that one and the little teeny tiny ship. That teeny tiny ship's going to be hard to find a spot to put it. In fact, it's going to be hard to find a spot to... Oh my god. Inertial dampeners on, please. Be hard to find a spot to put it on this one. I guess we'll put it right there. No real good spot for it to put it on our little attack craft, but alright, this one, where should we put it? We don't want to increase our size at all. No, I can't put it there because it'll get thrust damage. I guess I'm going to have to put it on the front of the ship. At least it doesn't stick out that far. Won't really add too much to the size of the ship. Alright. We're going to, for that button, we're going to toggle the reactors, toggle block on. We should just do toggle block on and off, actually. Okay, let's see if that works. Nope. I suppose it probably wouldn't work because the button doesn't work because the reactors are turned off. Well, let's just give it a shot. We'll turn the ship on manually and see if it works when we do it that way. And then we'll know if the person who suggested the idea knew what they were talking about. Or if I just don't know what I'm talking about, which is entirely possible because I'm like that sometimes. Alright, let's see here. Button panel. Nope. We're on the button panel, so let us get the small reactor. Turn this on. Now, oh my god. That's... Okay, well, something's not right. Okay, well, for the life of me, I can't figure out why this isn't working because I dropped it into the... I dropped it into the little button bar, toggled it on and off, so that means when we press the use key, which is T, it should toggle the reactor on and off. And as you can hear, I'm pressing it and nothing's happening. And I did the same thing with the button panel over here, and I'm just not sure if the button panels aren't working or what the case is. Just feel free to let me know in the comments section if I'm doing something wrong. Please, please tell me if maybe there's a bug that's known or something. Yeah, that's also cool if you could tell me that too. Anywho, we're going to see if we can get them working at some later point in time, I guess, then, because, yeah, they aren't working. None of them are. So, I guess that means that that's going to be that for the button panel stuff, or the buttons today. But what we are going to do is we are going to do some exploring, find some resources, hopefully inside wherever that asteroid is. There it is. Alright, and we're gonna see how much nicer having that passageway is, because we're going to be using it very shortly. I'm also going to set up all these buttons because well, can probably actually what I'm going to want to do is I'll set up a action group for them. We'll set up an action group for the small reactors. Block group, reactor, save. We are right now. We're going to toggle we toggled the blocks on already. Awesome. Maybe they need to be in an action group. Who knows? Groups. We're gonna drag that down there. Toggle block on and off. And nope. No such luck. Alright, so it's gonna be bugged out for now, but that's fine. Let's go to our... Oh no! I'm sure I will get the hang of this eventually. There we go. Let's go inside of our drone control area. We will find ourselves we want the Robo Miner, and we are going to control the remote control, and then we're also going to control the camera, and we're going to disengage. Yum. I don't want to eat the interior of my ship though. That would be uncool. Probably shouldn't have parked that ship there. It's kind of in the way. Alright. Let's head on off then. Let's go looking for ore. Oop, did I just see something pop in? I thought I saw some red appear, but nope. I'm just seeing things. Let's turn on our... Whoop, our light's already on. Have we found any ores yet? Well, I mean, we found some iron. In fact, let's go to the control panel. Where is the ore detector? It should be broadcasting the ores that we're seeing, but it's not. I know for certain that that's going to be iron. Most of this is just stone, unfortunately. Anything else in here? Nope. Just iron and stone by the looks of it. Well, that's some interesting looking texture over there. Almost looked as though it was mined before, but probably not. Oh, there's some cool little passageways in here, though. Let's mine our way through and see what's on the other side. Yeah, oh, now we're detecting the ores. We weren't before for some reason. Alright, well, we got some iron. Silicon's right over here. Where are you? There you are. We'll grab some silicon, because we use that for computers. Grab some of that. Nom nom. Alright. That should be good. I guess I'm going to get some rock as well, but gotta take the good with the bad. You can just toss the rock. We don't necessarily need it. Alright. Let's head on out of here without breaking our craft. There we go. Alright, we made it out of the hole that we created. With minimal damage, if none. Sweet. Okay. I really wish this ship would have larger range on its ore detector. Probably going to have to make a small actual manned craft for mining eventually. I think we have the room for it. Alright, more silicon down here. What we really need is uranium, though. Grab some of this, though. Let's see how much room we have left. Our cargo containers are full, but we have plenty of room in the drills yet. That's right, we never emptied it from the last time we mined. Alright. There's a ship over there. Oops, some debris floating away. Let's see if we can find some of that precious black stuff. Alright. Doesn't appear to be any on this asteroid. I guess we're just going to keep on exploring then. No reason to dwell here if there's just iron and silicon. And plenty of stone. Alright. Let's park this guy in here. We'll scan the area, see if we find any ships flickering off in the distance. Alright, let's park this one. And we're in proximity, so we'll lock it, and we will turn off the ship. In fact, let's just turn off the rest of our Explorer drones. Let's turn on a remote control, and turn it off. And we have the grinder ship is still on. I thought I turned you off. Oh no, wait, that's the grinder ship. Never mind. So we'll control that, and we will turn you off. Alright. Head on down. Just want to double check to make sure this isn't going to work. Nope. Nothing. Well, if you guys know the actual problem with that, make sure to let me know. So let's close the hangar door. Alright, so let's continue on then. Nothing in that one, just a whole bunch of nothing. Alright. Where to next? Got some cool looking asteroids off in the distance. One looks like a donut with a stick sticking through it. That one over there, kind of maybe a little bit left to that really bright star. Looks like there's a couple asteroids off to the... I don't know. Maybe that's not an asteroid off of it, but it's like two little asteroids sticking out of it. Definitely see a... Ooh. Is that something? Nope, that's just an asteroid. Nope, nothing there. Looking straight up. See nothing of interest. Alright, no ships, so let's... Energy is low. Yes, that's right. I need to turn on my reactors. So... I'm actually going to make a reactor group. Interior light. I must have accidentally destroyed part of my interior light. Well, let's take a look at the... We're going to save this as a block group reactor, so we can just toggle them on and off. A lot easier. There we go. Cool. Now where to... We only have 4 hours of power. That's actually really, really bad. I think we're gonna head towards... I keep on seeing things. I'm going crazy. I think I see ships, but they're not really ships. I think we're gonna head towards that big asteroid over there. We're probably gonna have a better chance of finding some stuff that we need. In fact, this area over here has a whole bunch of good stuff by the looks of it. Hopefully it's better than that asteroid over there. Alright. Yep, those are just 2 asteroids sticking out of that. Yep, nothing special. We'll head to this big guy over here. Almost looks like a small planetoid. Spherical and everything. Ooh, what's that? That's a really bright asteroid down there. Kinda want to head towards that guy. It's almost too bright to be an asteroid. Well, we'll find out. Alright, let's turn our inertial dampeners off, and let's just... let's drift a little bit. We'll head towards that white guy down there, see what that is, and then we'll head back to that big guy over there. Probably gonna find some useful things. Ooh, there is a military escort. Definitely not going after that. That's a little bit too well protected for our tastes right now. We don't have anything to protect us except for a little bit of armor. So, oh, that was just a little graphical bug. It turns out it was just a stone asteroid. Well, that's lame. Okay, so let's turn our inertial dampeners back on. Let's head to this big guy over here. Another big guy over there, too. Right. And inertial dampeners off. We'll just drift the rest of the way here. No ships anywhere. It's kind of a bummer. I guess we're kind of spoiled after the first episode where we found a station, a really crappy station, but we found a station nonetheless. Alright. Looks like a donut in space. How cool. And those look like pollen spores in space. Oh, we'll take a look at those. And from what I've been reading, there are people that have found uranium. Sometimes there are entire asteroids made of uranium, but they're just relatively difficult to come across. So, who knows? Maybe we'll find one, maybe we won't. Alright. This guy is a pretty big one right here. Let's slowly slow down. Ooh, it looks like there's some nice tunnels to explore in there. I think I'm actually just going to go exploring in person this time. Alright, how far away are we? Okay, we're still pretty far away.
Ship fuel low.
Energy low? How much uranium do we have? We have plenty of uranium. I don't know what you're talking about. It's probably just yelling at us because of the batteries. Because we're still in kind of a hybrid mode right now. This would be awesome if we found some uranium here. We could make a small little uranium mining base. We could get our supplies up and then we could depart again and see if we find something. So let's hope that we find some power sources here. Or hidden asteroid base would be cool too, but I really doubt that's going to be the case. Alright, let's take out our little trusty hammer thing. And let's head on out. Gotta close the airlock. Don't let any atmosphere out, even though that's not really a thing in this game, because you're always wearing a spacesuit. Alright. Turn our lights on. Well, we definitely have some iron in here. This is really cool. This is a really cool little asteroid. Lots of stone. Ooh, haven't done exploring like this in a long time. This is fun. Nothing there. Okay, well, there was another hole to enter this asteroid in, if I can find it. Nope, that's just a shadow. Thought it might have been uranium because it was darker colored, but I saw sparks coming from here. That's strange. It's weird. I swear I saw sparks coming from here. There's silver. There's definitely something on the interior of this. Let's go make a mine. A proper tunnel mine. Alright. Wow, I don't think I've done this since like episode 4 of the original survival series. Oh, we've made it to something that's not stone. Okay, well, let's drop all this stone. Whoop, no! Come back here, silver. Don't want the stone, though. I don't think we have a lot of silver back at base. Not that we really need it, though. It's not really used for too terribly much. I think it's used for, like, was it gravity generator components, and maybe it's used for computers? I'm not sure. Well, let's grab the rest of this stuff until our inventory is full.
Inventory
Yep,
full.
there we go. Leave that stone behind. Alright. Well, let's drop this off via connector over there, and we'll continue our little exploration adventure. In fact, I can probably power down our reactors. Alright. So, reactors, toggle blocks off. There we go. Oh, let's head back in the little hole here, see what we find. Maybe there's another way we can go. Nope, that's the way we went before. Ooh, ooh. We weren't down this way before. Yeah, it looks like it's mostly iron. What about you? You almost look like... Nope, you're still iron. Thought you might have been cobalt for a second there. Had a odd look to you. Well, that'll be fine. Don't need any more of that. Is this magnesium? We could definitely use magnesium. Nope, just odd lighting again. Well, that's silver, actually. So this is a silver asteroid by the looks of it. And we really don't need silver. So, I think we're going to depart from this asteroid. Well, that looks kind of... You guys know what that looks like. I'm not even going to say it. Alright, where is the... Ooh. Is that black? Is it? Is it? Nope, just shadows. Alright, well, let's head on out. We're gonna make our way to those pollen-looking asteroids. And from there, we'll see what happens. You know what, it might actually be faster to... I was thinking of some upgrades we could do to this ship. We could probably put some small thrusters on the front of this as retro thrust, because right now we don't have much retro thrust. And right where these things are, we could probably put side thrusters, because we don't have many side thrusters either. Those are all possible upgrades we could do in the future. But right now, first things first, power. There we go. I should also make a block that toggles all, or a action group that toggles all the doors open or closed, so I don't have to keep on closing things. I can just toggle everything closed when I'm done. Actually, I could probably do that now. But, nah. Let's not do that now. Alright, where were those pollen-looking ones? Well, there's a big one over there. But I was wanting to go to the other one. That's actually a funky looking one. It's just a big block. Alright, that's right. We need to toggle our reactors on. Alright, and we're off.